let's rock and roll.
Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to our channel. We have our special guest here, Alexander from what's the call again? Your company?
TheLatestBlock.com.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Alexander. How can I call you? I mean, Alexander or
Alexander or Alex is okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much good to know. Yeah, before I gotta start with the video, can you share a little bit more about yourself and how you get into crypto for the very first time?
Yeah, actually, my friend Ronald Santos in New York. I was working in New York City, and he talked to me about Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP in 2017. I'd already been interested in stocks and trading for a couple of years, so he introduced me, and then I was excited with the gains, and then I stayed for the technology. Kind of the short version, but essentially, I tried out some trading in 2017. Didn't do so well. I realized it's better to just hold assets I believe in long term. So I held on to Bitcoin and Ethereum, a few other tokens, but mainly those. And I'm still holding on to them, and I've been accumulating. Obviously, we had a nice bull market. So around February last year, I started creating content with my own blog on Medium, and then thelatestblock.com, my website. And since then I've been building out community on Twitter and YouTube and TikTok and places like that. But that's essentially how I started. I connected up with Quantum Economics. It's a great group. CEO Mighty Greenspan, and I'm part of that team. Back in May, I wrote a blog about what is an NFT, and he's like, "Hey, you're the first one to explain it correctly. Do you want to work as an NFT analyst?" So that's when I started, going deeper, and since November I've been full-time in crypto.
Yeah, that's very much good to know because some people discover crypto 2017 as well. So what was the aha moment? Oh, crypto is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I mean, like when you high conviction in crypto industry.
Yeah, I mean, long term I'm bullish. Long term I'm bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's a lot of other uncertainty right now. I'm also bullish on NFTs being the future of entertainment. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of FUD right now. Rumors are going around on Twitter. Any bad rumors spread around. Like yesterday, there's a rumor that KuCoin is insolvent.
KuCoin, yeah.
The CEO of KuCoin went on and blasted people for fake news. A few days ago. It's the same thing. I mean, essentially, it was a bank run on Celsius because a rumor they were running out of money, which caused them to actually have to stop withdrawals.
Yeah.
BlockFi had
3AC exposure, right?
Yeah. I mean, that is a problem. They only had 60 million though, right? So it didn't affect them that much. They actually destroyed 3AC. They liquidated them, right? So, but they took some losses. But what's interesting is that there's a rumor that BlockFi is being sold for $25 million.
Yeah.
Turned out to be closer to around 240 million, right? So the rumors just get spread around. That was even on CNBC and all the major crypto news. So people are very ready to accept extremely bad news right now. Just accept it as fact and forward it because the mood is so bitter. But things turn around like this. In 2018, it was a smaller space, but a lot of people are kind of like, is it over? It's never coming back.
Classic.
Yeah. So the Federal Reserve of the United States is tightening the money supply. When they stop, they're going to eventually turn it around and start loosening it again. All the markets are going to turn around, and the people that are, saying it's going to end are going to be buying. So I'm not worried in the long term. The short term, it's a
we
bit
never
rocky.
know about short term. Because so many people. Maybe some people say, oh, it's never gonna touch to 20K again because the involvement of the institution. But still, the institution over leverage. That's why they cannot maintain this market, right? So I don't know. You're right. We can never know about the short term prediction, but at least this is the test. When you I don't know, you have conviction or not in this crypto industry, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a personal test. So one thing I'm kind of doing myself and suggesting others, like you need to make sure you have your income stream to support yourself and your family, whether you have, some people unfortunately lost their jobs in crypto, but have a job or a business that's creating an income stream that's going to support you anyway. And once you have that, I mean, if you can invest more, it's a great time to be, buying on dollar cost average, not with all your money, but on the way down, dollar cost averaging, especially into to Bitcoin right now, is really the only thing I'm dollar cost averaging in. But anyone who is buying in February 2020 when it crashed to
Yes.
3,000
Yeah.
is a genius, right?
March. Yeah. It looked
But
like
at that moment,
yes.
it looked like the world was ending, right? So to do it in the time of most extreme fear is dangerous. As the saying goes, never catch a falling knife.
Yes.
But dollar cost average can mitigate that. So if you're doing some every month, you just continue every month. You know what I mean? Your exposure to risk and your personal. The other thing dollar cost average is it takes away your personal pain mentally. Because
Yeah.
if you had 100,000 USD and you put it into a bad investment, it goes down to 50,000. You lost 50,000, right?
Yes.
And it's your fault. But if you're putting 500 every month into something and it goes down over 6 months, a year, the amount that's going down is less. So
Yeah. I
you
know.
feel less responsible because you're following the plan, and you have less chance to sell in fear, right?
Yes.
uh at the wrong moment when it's lower, and then of course when it goes up you're going to want to buy. So dollar
Yeah.
cost averaging helps take that away, so I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah, because it relates as well to your article about time in the market beats timing the market, right? So
That's right,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a classic one to have the dollar cost average, and in Bitcoin you call it like bite the dip, right? BTFD or something.
That's
But
right,
still,
yeah.
but still, people still get wrecked during this market. I don't know. Maybe yeah, it's a part of human nature as well, because they find it difficult to deal with this kind of situation. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean the economist Keynes, he called it animal spirits, where the markets react in a kind of pack mentality where people start freaking out, so they sell, and then more people sell, right? Because it's being sold. So it's the way markets are. It's the same way in the stock market, Nasdaq, Netflix, right? I think Netflix is still down more than Bitcoin this year, and the markets have been down a lot. So it's for anyone coming into the market buying at 50, 55, 60,
Yeah.
69 USD, right? They're in shock right now. For those of us who are around in 2017 who were buying at 7,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. I mean, it still hurts, but
Yes.
it doesn't feel the same, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if we can weather the next 3 to 6 months, again, I don't know short term, but it's all depending on what I think the Federal Reserve does with the interest rates. And I think if the inflation starts going down, they start loosening up, markets are going to turn around. And when they do, and then there'll be the halving in 2024.
Yeah.
There'll be other
It
good
could be
news.
the
There's
moment.
adoption. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
because
lot of adoption in bear markets.
yeah. Some people say that because the market cap is getting bigger, the halving has no impact to the price. But I completely disagree with that because there is a supply issuance, right? I mean, in order to get cut in half, right? So I think yeah, even though maybe it's not that significant because the crypto market is related to the stock market, but at the same time, I think halving could be the catalyst for the next bull run.
I agree, and it always is.
Mm.
2016, 2020, even 2012, right?
Yeah.
So I think it may have less of an impact, also because not just because of the correlation, but because Bitcoin is getting more mature. But I think it will have an impact. Uh, it's been the same each time, the same bull run, then it runs out of
Yeah,
steam into a bear market. So
absolutely.
the trend is your friend, right? Until it's different. your odds are with the trend. So I'm gonna vote for the trend.
Yeah, the trend is your friend until the end. So yeah, that's pretty much you need to know. So you also doing a research on the queue for everyone. I mean, is that the part of research that you're doing with the latest blog, or is that completely two different thing? I mean, you also running
Separate
the
company.
Twitter space, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got my company, thelatestblock.com, my website. Again, you can chill
Yes.
here for a second. You can check it out, latestblock.com. And I have a newsletter there. Quantum Economics is a group of analysts, CEOs, Matty Greenspan, different company. I'm one of their analysts. It's a great team. There's about 20 different crypto analysts. So we do they help me on the Twitter Spaces. So I'm the host of mine, but they have like 4 or 5 guys help promote it. Some of the bigger accounts. So we're a good team, and we discuss things in markets and kind of hang out on Twitter, and it's a popular thing. So yeah, so that's and they're a great team, and they include some other top analysts like Lou Kerner and Rachel Wolfson and Jason Dean, and they're usually the news agencies tap us for some analysis. So I've been on uh, TV stations through them a number of times. So they're a great team, and they have a free newsletter too. You can sign up
Yes.
quantumeconomics.io. Yeah, and it's a joke, the good QE. So quantitative easing is
Further
from the
easing,
Fed.
yeah. I
Yeah, the
know.
motto is the good QE. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah, if you guys find it interested, I will share a link description about the latest blog and also QE for everyone. Yeah, but
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, because you mentioned the QE, I mean, this is something you're concerned about the macros. Maybe you know share the contents about the macros in general, or you know focus on something else. I mean, like you also mentioned like cryptos and NFTs as well. I mean, what was your project is working on?
So one thing I want to say, looking at the macro, uh, I would actually say bad news is good news in this case. The market and
Yeah.
the economy are two different things. The Fed has 2 jobs. One is to keep unemployment low, which is essentially a very strong economy, and the other is to keep inflation low. So the worry of the Fed is that if the the unemployment goes too low, there'll be too much people buying, and prices will go up too fast, right?
Yes.
In this last market, that's not what happened, right? The Fed printed so much money that
Yeah.
it was inevitable, right? So
Inevitable.
unemployment was not the cause of inflation. Unemployment is still higher than it was before the pandemic, right? It's almost
Correct.
where it was before the pandemic, but believe it or not, unemployment didn't cause inflation then. So there's, in my opinion, an error in that thinking, but that is the thinking, and a bunch of big tech companies have been laying people off in preparation for the recession coming. So if the recession is just 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, right? So the total value of all the goods and services in the country, in the U.S., that goes down 2 straight quarters, that's a recession. So it's kind of funny that bad news could be good news. So the first quarter was down. In the second quarter, we get it ended yesterday, right, or 2 days ago. So we get the results July 28th, and the first estimates had been positive. It's actually now the latest estimate from one of the Fed branches is negative. So if it's negative, the U.S. is in a recession. The pressure will be on the Federal Reserve to ease up, and maybe not immediately, but the pressure will be on them to rebalance and get the economy growing again, which is more in the quantitative easing. Right now, they're on the quantitative tightening thing. So I don't think they're going to go heavily into easing, but I think if they slow down or stop their increase of interest rates, economists think they're going to go to around 2.5–3%. It's at like 1.8% right now, I think.
Yes.
Um, if they stop around there, I think the market is pretty much timed in all the drops. So as long as that's all that happens, I'm bullish for the future on macro.
Yeah.
As regards to NFTs, you asked, I think it's also interesting. The whole overall subject, I'm very bullish on NFTs in the world of entertainment. There's a lot of use cases I don't know about. They're extremely experimental. They may or may not work. And there's a lot of projects, probably 99% of the NFT projects out there are going to zero. But
Absolutely.
yeah, and every PFP about 8 on every other blockchain, it gets repetitive, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this, the entertainment experience, the fan experience, whether it's like a baseball fan or a fan of Snoop Dogg, right?
Yes.
Um, I think NFTs are going to be an intrinsic part of the fan experience. If they make it easier, they make it, from what I understand, they make it better for the musician or the artist, right? They have more control over their intellectual property, and they get more of the proceeds. And if that works, and I think then they're going to take over, no brainer. It just needs to be 10 times better than whatever products out there in the market, and I think NFTs have that. Believe it or not, I even think DeFi has that if they get if they get some things sorted out, and the market has to not crash 90%. But
Already. Yeah.
yeah, I'm still bullish on NFTs and DeFi being the future. It's going to be a tough road for DeFi. NFTs haven't really suffered that much. I mean, aside from the price of Ethereum and Solana going down, like the NFT communities on Twitter are very bullish, almost insanely so. And NFTs are just a tool, right? So if you're getting your proceeds in NFTs through Ethereum, okay, you've taken a hit, but you could have also cashed out. So NFTs are still, if you're a singer using NFTs and cashing the fiat, you're doing great right now. If
Yeah.
you've
The
gotten,
only
your fans onto it.
the only problem with NFT is the liquidity problem, Unlike the other asset like Bitcoin, you can trade it for like 24/7, but that's not the case with the NFTs, right? So
Yeah, no, it's a liquidity
yeah,
problem.
eventually in the bear market, like yeah, even though like the blue chip NFT like Bored Ape or something like that, I
Yeah.
still fall, if I'm not mistaken, by 90%, if I'm not mistaken, from the
Yeah.
peak, right? So I don't know. Yeah, yeah. As you maybe you're gonna hate this. I saw your tweet. I'm a maximalist. I don't really,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like NFT, but it's interesting idea. I open to people, right? That's why we need to like have like
Yeah.
two ways of
What it is it's experimental right now. From a perspective of speculating, um, those NFTs, yeah, I don't. Those are the ones that I think. I mean, Bored Apes, I don't think are going zero because you have Eminem and
yeah,
Snoop Dogg
no,
like it, and
yeah,
it's like the latest Rolex watch, right? It's another symbol to show you're rich. So I
yes,
think that's going to be like a circle, a club, but um, unless the company messes up something pretty badly, they have a lot of properties. But
yes,
I'm talking about like if you're an artist, I know Violetta Zeroni is a musician from Germany. She just started selling her music as NFTs. People buying them aren't necessarily buying them because they're speculating on the price of the NFT. They're intending to keep them
yes,
right and intending to keep the music. So I think, like I mentioned, the fan experience I think is going to win out. If you're buying an NFT to gain a profit. I mean, even in the heat of the bull market, that's like the most dangerous thing you could do. Like you said, they're illiquid. There's a lot of other security issues depending on which blockchain it's on. There's a lot of problems, trust me. But um, if you're buying an NFT with the goal of keeping it forever, that's kind of an NFT that
yeah.
I would
It's
suggest you
collectible,
get,
yeah,
like something you want,
yeah,
not because you're trying to flip it. Like this is not a rental house,
yeah,
and it's there's a lot of other problems. But like you said, it's illiquid. Um, but if you're a musician, you're selling fan rights to like top front row seats at every concert for life, and you're selling these. If you're Snoop Dogg, you could sell these for like a ton of money. It's not necessarily something that someone's going to want to flip, or if they do, it's more of a it's a status symbol. So I think when the market turns around, those things will probably be around. I think if it's something like you want a membership to something and that's what you're trying to do, then that's one thing, right?
yes,
Yeah, PFPs that you're going to flip, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. And I said that in the heat of the bull market. Uh,
yeah,
Back last May, I said the same thing. Like I think it's a bubble and it's going to pop. So
absolutely.
yeah, but from a creator with a connection to fans, if they can have a blockchain that's not going to collapse, like Solana has a lot of problems, right? The fact that there's a
Absolutely.
running joke that they'll just shut it down tomorrow,
Yeah.
or that they're off on weekends or something. These jokes are because, they have some serious problems. So I wouldn't put anything on anything outside of Ethereum. I guess I've heard some things about Wax that are good, but yeah, like you have the risk of the counterparty risk of which blockchain you're on. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you also have the risk of like OpenSea was, weren't even hacked. I guess they're
Again,
some
fees,
company that,
yeah, fees all the time, That's why it's
yeah.
pity to say the least. Yeah.
Yeah, the problem when you have something on a blockchain is that there's multiple points of failure, right? With Bitcoin, you just
Yeah.
have your coin, right?
Yeah.
You don't have
No
16
point of
things built
failure.
on
Yeah.
Bitcoin connected. Yeah. So obviously you have, if you have it in your hardware wallet, that's one place, as long as, the company didn't sell you a bogus wallet, or, there's not a virus I mean, like, you're pretty safe, right?
Yeah.
But if you have your money on an exchange, if you have your NFT on a blockchain that's on an exchange, it's on a website, the website could be hacked, the blockchain could be like, you've got multiple points of failure. So
Yeah.
the safest is proven to be Bitcoin. Back to your point, and DCA, and right now, uh, unless you're really like total casino and you're willing to lose everything, like, I wouldn't put anything outside of Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Ethereum, but I'm not personally. It's just Bitcoin,
Yeah.
and it's not. It's just too risky at this point,
Yeah, I
at
know.
least
I
in the
mean,
short
like,
term.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, there is a meme like bull markets, bear market creates Bitcoiner,
Yeah,
and bull market creates shitcoiner. Yeah, the memes, right? I mean, yeah, that's the part, Maybe the maximalist went too far, but at the same time, they've been I mean they've been correct, right, so far, but I don't know.
correct. But even
You
the
said that
maximalists, like, even
in
if
your
you're
tweet you
Bitcoin
reject,
only,
yeah,
yeah, you're
you
hurting
reject
right
that
now.
maximalist, right? What do
Yeah,
you mean by that? I mean, you completely reject maximalist, or because there
I
isn't
reject being a jerk.
yeah, like Nick Charter, Nick Charter
Yeah,
got
yeah.
confronted by maximalist. What do you think of maximalist?
Um, I think that I don't like labels. The term's not good. I'm probably about 95% of crypto is garbage. So I think 5% will change the world. So I guess I'm about 5% off from being a maximalist. Um, I think Nick Carter's fantastic mind in the space, has done a lot of work for Bitcoin. Some guy who, got into Bitcoin last year and who likes to scream at people. I don't think really, I don't put them on the same plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, I mean, there's a few things to be um, a jerk and to treat people like garbage. That doesn't attract me in any sphere of life, right?
yeah.
Uh, the people that are saying that Bitcoin is some social philosophy and it involves like
It's like a
whatever they
religion.
consider.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a religion, but it's only their own religion, right? Like, it's whatever they think. Like, that means you don't eat vegetables, and you're racist, and you abuse women on the internet. Like, that's not, I don't know what that is, right?
yeah,
That's someone's personal problems, right? That's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a financial system. It's a computer technology.
yeah,
It's many things, but it's not that, right?
yeah,
Um, it's nothing immoral about your personal choices. It's just weird to imply, and it sounds to me like a neo-Nazi cult, right?
yeah,
Like, any decision you make about something, you're immoral if you disagree with me, and we're gonna have a purity test. Like, what is that garbage? No,
yeah.
that's
Purity test.
that's that's yeah, that sounds insane. It is insane. And a lot of Bitcoin maximalists are rejecting it because, like, whoa, hold on, that's not what I said. So I don't think anyone should be bullied online for their choices,
Yeah,
whether they want to be gay or buy Ethereum. Like, these are
yeah,
not things that you should bully somebody for. You should
yeah,
try to treat others the way you want to be treated. That
yeah,
being said, I still think Bitcoin is the best system. But even now, I mean, the maximalists say, "Hey, we're right. We're having the last laugh." But
yeah,
Bitcoin's down 80%, right? We're not having any laughs. I'm not laughing.
yeah,
I mean, it's great to buy the dip, but also this concept of like companies that are built on Bitcoin somehow being destroyed is a good thing. if they touch anything else, that's not a good thing at all. Like that's a really bad thing. Like use cases of Bitcoin resulting in companies being wiped out is not good for Bitcoin. I don't care how somebody spins it, that's insane. Like
Yeah.
it's like saying, I'm really glad that, I don't know, like Bitcoin Magazine, they're cheering on all these companies failing, but Bitcoin Magazine is a company that's built on Bitcoin that makes money off of Bitcoiners. If Bitcoin Magazine fails, it's not going to be good for Bitcoin. But yeah, and so right now the market is under a lot of pressure because of what the Federal Reserve is doing. That's the simplicity of it. Some people are also saying on Twitter, like the market's gonna start turning around after you personally suffered this pain. Like has nothing to do with you personally. Has
Yeah.
nothing to do with you at all. Like one individual, unless you're a multi-billionaire, it has nothing to do with you personally. Has everything to do with what the Federal Reserve is doing on markets right now, geopolitics with the war in Russia and Ukraine, and other situations. But I think the noise on Twitter is just noise on Twitter. In the long run, it's not going to matter if you want to be a maximalist or not a maximalist. More power to you, right? I
Yeah.
support you. Just being an ass, a jerk to people is not particularly helpful and not something I'm interested in.
Yes.
Or, there's real things. And I did trash Do Kwon a lot on Twitter, but I think it was all factual. Some of the stuff he said was pretty disgusting. So I've taken part in it too, but I'm not cheering or trashing on people that are failing right now and billions of dollars lost. I don't think that's funny. And there's a twisted logic that says that that's good in the long run, but it's not. It just simply is not good. Like the big institutions are looking at Bitcoin um, and they see, kind of versions of them failing. That's not good for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The good news is I think the pain is going to be over soon. Give it 6 months, we'll turn around. Whether people are toxic or not doesn't really matter. There's a lot of people that buy Bitcoin that aren't on Twitter and they don't care, or they kind of see it as like another TV show, right? Um, so yeah, I support people that are genuinely beneficial to others.
Yeah.
And I think Bitcoin is the best and only safe crypto right now.
Yes.
That may change one day. I'm happy for technology to advance.
Yeah.
No, I think the only altcoin that has outperformed Bitcoin after its first kind of cycle is Dogecoin.
Yeah, that's
So
why it's kind of surprising, but
yeah,
is it because Elon
well,
Musk?
well, it was because Elon Musk and a few other billionaires got excited about it, right? And it pumped when the money was in the system. But look, it's also been around for always had like a little cult following. It's been around for years, so those guys will probably stick around. But in terms of other like layer ones, even beating Ethereum, this and that, it doesn't seem like they're doing that. So it looks like Bitcoin's here to stay, Ethereum's here to stay. If you have millions of people involved in the computer network and they're happy customers, I don't see that changing. So whether you like it or not, Bitcoin isn't going anywhere and crypto isn't going anywhere. A lot
Yeah.
of projects probably will go to zero, but cryptocurrency is not disappearing tomorrow. Um,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and
Yeah,
it's
I know.
whether you
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
or
It's
not. Yeah,
interesting. It's an interesting thought, because you said before that the maximalists went too far, because uh, when you purchase a Bitcoin, maybe you wanna protect people from doing the wrongdoing. I think is one thing, but
yeah,
the another thing is like you cannot like force people to do what they wanna do with their own money, right? So that's why it's
exactly.
completely two different thing, and sometimes the line is too thin. I mean, like you
Yeah,
cannot like sometimes you cross the line, but you never realize that you cross the line in the first place, right? So I don't know.
yeah,
You understand what I mean, right? So yeah,
yeah. The
that's
key thing is to talk to people outside of your echo chamber, as we say, right?
yeah,
If you only talk to people who always agree with you, whether it's in politics or religion, or I guess crypto is the new politics and religion, um, right? You're going to have a distorted worldview. So it's important to not have that, right? It's important
yeah,
to, while it's good to hang out with people who agree with you. It's also good to get other opposing points of view and listen. You don't have to agree with them, but be aware that they exist.
Yeah, absolutely.
One
So
sec. Yeah.
yeah, maybe before like I end this video, yeah, because it's already time is up already. Do you have like any specific Bitcoin price prediction? Yeah, it's just for fun, no financial advice for the next
Yeah.
2 years.
And for the record, like if someone wants to just do Bitcoin only, a Bitcoin maximalist, I have no problem with them either, right? It's
Yeah, I
bullying other
mean,
people that I have a problem with. Like I'm
yeah, I know.
happy that there's Bitcoin maximalists. A lot of them, especially like the Nick Carters of the world, are a foundation. And there's some other really smart guys. Jeff Vailshire Capital. There's some really smart guys that put out great content, and they just focus on Bitcoin. And I think that's awesome. They're an important part of the core, community.
Yeah,
So Bitcoin price prediction, crazy. I was wrong already. I made it at the beginning of the year. I said prices
yeah,
would
exactly.
tank.
It's
I was
okay.
right
Yeah,
about that. But I thought it was going to end around 30,000. So I was a bit too positive, and it went down to 20. So now people are saying 15, 10. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
I'd like to say by the end of the year, Bitcoin is going to be higher than it is today. It's a bit conservative. I don't know if it's going to be back at 30, but I guess between 25 and 30 end of the year. I think stocks are going to turn around too.
Okay.
I think the Fed is going to start talking about how they're going to end off tightening. They're going to say enough words that's going to cool the market down. People are going to start putting money back in risk assets, which right now is going to be Bitcoin and stocks. One day, I think Bitcoin might break
Decouple.
away from that again. Yeah, decouple, act more like a commodity like oil, for its various use cases and scarcity. Hopefully one day we see a result of the supply shock, and there's a
Yeah,
couple million Bitcoin on exchanges. So there is a scarcity, but it's not that scarce. But yeah, I hope we see that at some point, and I think we will. But for now, for this year, yeah, I don't think it's going to be great, but I think it'll be
yeah,
higher than it is today. Hopefully 25 to 30 by end of the year. That's my crazy price prediction.
yeah. I think that's pretty much. Yeah, thank you so much for your time. And then
Yeah, thank
leave a
you.
like and subscribe to our channel, guys.